As you may remember from the previous module, the Aravalli Hills lie on the western and northwestern margins of the Peninsular Plateau. If you move further towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills, you come across the Indian Desert. Like other hot deserts, the Great Indian Desert is a rolling sandy plain covered by sand dunes. Most of these are crescent-shaped sand dunes called barkhans. If you go to Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, you will be able to see a lot of barkhans. However, as you go near the Indo-Pakistan boundary, you will see a predominance of longitudinal dunes. Did you know? Longitudinal dunes, also called Saif dunes, after the Arabic word for sword, elongate parallel to the prevailing wind. Saif dunes are thought to develop from barkhans if the direction of the wind changes. The rainfall in this region is quite low, below 150 millimeters per year. Understandably, the arid climate is not suitable for plants to grow. Therefore, the vegetation cover in this region is sparse. During the rainy season, though, some streams do appear. However, these streams do not have enough water to reach the sea. So, soon after the rainy season, they disappear slowly into the sand again. The only exception is the river Luni, which is a large river. Let's go back to the Peninsular Plateau. As you can see, beyond the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats, the plateau is bordered by narrow coastal strips. The western strips run along the Arabian Sea, while the eastern strip is along the Bay of Bengal. As you can see, the western coast is a narrow plain. This plain is divided into three sections: Konkan, the Kannada plain, and the Malabar coast. Konkan lies in the northern part of the coast. The beaches that form tourist attractions in Mumbai and Goa are part of the Konkan coast. The Kannada plain refers to the central part of the western coast. And right down in the south is the Malabar coast. Unlike the western coast, the eastern coast, which runs along the Bay of Bengal, displays wide and level stretches. Like the western coast, the eastern coast also has different local names. For example, in the northern parts, people refer to this coastal area as the Northern Circas. On the other hand, people in the south call it the Coromandel Coast. Let's take a look at the water bodies in this coast. You can see some large rivers such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri. These rivers have formed a wide delta on the coast. The other important water body along the eastern coast is the Lake Chilika. This lake is said to be the largest saltwater lake in India. It is located in Orissa, to the south of the Mahanadi Delta. So far, we've covered all the physical features on the mainland of India. Moving off the mainland, the country also consists of two groups of islands or archipelagos. The Lakshadweep Islands group and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. If you examine the Malabar coast of Kerala closely, lying close to the coast are the Lakshadweep Islands. This group is famed for its variety of flora and fauna. One of the uninhabited islands in this group, the Pitti Island, has a bird sanctuary. Apart from that, the group overall consists of small coral islands. The name comes from the beautiful coral reefs that are a popular tourist attraction. Coral polyps are microscopic marine organisms which have short lifespans. They flourish in shallow, mud-free, warm waters. They generally live in colonies. And how do they form such huge coral reefs? The reefs are built of a combination of hard rock-like secretion from the coral polyps and their skeletons. There are three main kinds of reefs: barrier reef, fringing reef, and atolls. A barrier reef is one that is separated from a mainland or island shore by a deep lagoon. The Great Barrier Reef of Australia is a good example. An atoll, on the other hand, is a circular barrier reef. There is no central island, and the reef extends all the way around the lagoon, forming the shape of a horseshoe. Here is a view of the coral atolls in the Maldives, in the Indian Ocean. A fringe reef is one that is directly attached to a shore. Before 1973, the Lakshadweep Islands were known as Lakadive, Minicoy and Amindive. The overall area of Lakshadweep is 32 square kilometers. The island's administrative offices are headquartered on an island called the Kavaratti Island. Let's move to the second group of islands, which is located on the eastern side of the peninsula, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It is a long chain of islands extending from north to south, located in the Bay of Bengal. There are numerous scattered islands in the chain. most of them are bigger in size than those in the Lakshadweep Islands. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories. The northern islands are called the Andaman, and the southern islands constitute the Nicobar category. Did you know? The Andaman Islands and the Nicobar Islands are separated by the 10-degree north parallel. It is said that these islands are the elevated parts of a submarine mountain chain. As you can see from the map, this chain separates the Bay of Bengal from the Andaman Sea. These island groups are of great strategic importance for the country. These islands lie close to the equator. The equatorial climate has resulted in a thick forest cover. Thus, like the Lakshadweep Islands, these islands display great diversity of flora and fauna as well. The most interesting feature of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands is that they house India's only active volcano. This volcano is located on the barren island. Each physiographic unit of India complements the others by providing valuable natural resources to the country. Let's take a moment to recollect the contribution of each unit to the development of the country. As you may remember, the northern mountains are the major sources of water as well as forest wealth. The granaries of the country lie in the northern plain, while the plateau provides vast mineral wealth to the country. These minerals have played a vital role in the country's industrialization. And what about the coastal regions? India's fishing sites are located in the coastal regions. Port activities are also focused around these regions. Thus, the diverse physical features of the land have immense future possibilities of development.